Sichuan, a large number of military vehicles are passing through. The endless convoy on the road is enough to create a sense of tension. A Chinese netizen filming the scene shouted, "What's going on? Are we going to war?"
Is it just me, or does it feel like war is about to break out? I mean, with all the troop mobilizations, missile units, and armored vehicles, everything's getting ready for action.
On October 16th, a video posted by a netizen showed a large number of military vehicles speeding across a bridge in Suining, Sichuan.
It's happening, guys. It's really happening.
There have been unusual military vehicle movements in multiple areas across China. A lot of armored vehicles were seen moving through the streets. Just before the fourth plenary session, Beijing's political scene experienced turbulence once again. On highways in places like Fujian, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, Sichuan, and Beijing, a significant number of armored vehicles and troop carriers appeared. Near Bohai Bay, a netizen filmed this scene.
What's going on? Are we about to go to war? It's all military vehicles. I've been stuck at this red light for 20 minutes, just waiting for over 200 military vehicles to pass. This is serious. It's all military.
In Zhangzhou, Fujian, a netizen reported seeing soldiers everywhere. A large number of trucks were transporting military vehicles. In Hangzhou, Zhejiang, citizens captured footage of the People's Liberation Army assembling. The video showed a train carrying tanks traveling down the tracks. This video shows rows of military vehicles and wheeled armored vehicles speeding along the highway. The entire operation appeared to be shrouded in mystery, with many onlookers expressing surprise after witnessing the scene. A netizen posted on Douyin on October 16th, reporting seeing a new 8-wheeled armor assault vehicle on the road. The vehicle is painted in digital camouflage and looks different from previous Chinese-made wheeled armored assault vehicles. On October 16th and 17th, many areas in Guangxi saw large-scale mobilizations of heavy military forces. Netizens reported encountering long convoys of military vehicles wrapped in tarps, stretching far out of sight. There were also reports on the 17th of a large-scale military movement in Kunming, Yunnan, where various military vehicles, including convoys of tanks and armored cars, caused a traffic jam on the highways, stretching several kilometers. At a military unit in Beijing's northern Fifth Ring Road, a large number of military vehicles suddenly gathered. The site showed large trucks fully loaded with supplies entering the Fifth Ring Road from the Beiyuan East Road exit and heading towards the Fourth Ring Road. On September 28th, several local netizens shared videos showing large numbers of military vehicles on streets or nearby highways in Baoding City. Some of these vehicles carried weapons, others were troop carriers, and some were ambulances marked with the Red Cross. Multiple intersections had set up roadblocks to ensure the military vehicles could pass through. From the vehicles' routes, it seems that they're headed towards a specific destination, but there's no confirmed information about where they're going. This continuous show of force serves as the strongest signal of warning to the outside world. A netizen on X noted that military vehicles are now visible in every direction across mainland China, with no clear signs of preparations to invade Taiwan, but instead, it feels more like the precursor to a civil war. Recently, Chinese military activity has been unusually high. In the last 24 hours, dozens of military aircraft have been seen flying back and forth, creating a tense atmosphere. On October 16, 2025, residents near Hainan reported seeing numerous military aircraft patrolling the skies.
I've seen a lot about this today. Military convoys everywhere, and there's also talk of a second
In preparing for a potential Taiwan conflict, the Chinese government may also be preparing for a larger confrontation with the U.S. On October 18th, a blogger posted on Douyin, saying,
还不以为然，但是这两天忽然看到网上这么多的视频啊，确实有点紧张了。
This is a military mission, not just an exercise. At first, I didn't think much of it, but after seeing so many videos online in the past couple of days, I'm starting to feel nervous, especially since yesterday. Has anyone noticed? People have been filming our troops moving and gathering, and a lot of people are also capturing military planes in the sky. Just now, I saw a video from CCTV military news that said, war doesn't have a fixed time, and soldiers must be ready to fight at any moment. Indeed, war doesn't announce its arrival, and nobody tells you in advance. If we ordinary folks knew when it was coming, there'd be no point in fighting. Every war catches you off guard. Remember the South China Sea standoff in 2016? Tensions were high then too, and while the media did report it, it wasn't a headline at the time. But hey, don't go overboard with hoarding emergency supplies just because of the recent tensions. These supplies are mainly for natural disasters, like earthquakes, storms, floods, and so on.
The large-scale deployment of military vehicles comes at a sensitive time for the Chinese Communist Party. Some netizens have raised the question, is China preparing for an external conflict, or is it gearing up to suppress internal unrest? This is a very valid question. Many online discussions have linked this to the upcoming fourth plenary session of the CCP's 20th Central Committee, set for October 20th through 23rd. They're speculating whether unusual events are unfolding in Beijing. Global and domestic media are closely watching whether the plenary session will result in a major reshuffling of the CCP leadership. Currently, the CCP's political leadership is in turmoil, with ongoing purges within the military. Xi Jinping's military allies have been facing serious issues, and there is widespread speculation that Xi has lost control over the army, even as internal power struggles continue. On October 17, 2025, the Ministry of National Defense released a brief announcement on its official website. It sent shockwaves through both the political and military circles. The Ministry of Defense revealed that 9 high-ranking generals were expelled from the Communist Party and the military for serious misconduct. Among those named were He Weidong, Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission; Miao Hua, former Director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission; He Hongjun, former Executive Deputy Director of the Political Work Department of the CMC; Wang Xiubin, former Executive Deputy Director of the Joint Operations Command Center of the CMC; Li Xiangyang, former Commander of the Eastern Theater; Qin Shutong, former Political Commissar of the Navy; Yuan Huazhi, former Political Commissar of the Navy; Wang Houbin, former Commander of the Rocket Force; and Wang Chunqing, former commander of the Armed Police Force. All were expelled from the party and the military. This mass dismissal is unprecedented in CCP history. The generals expelled were close allies of Xi Jinping, but also a thorough military power shift. The upcoming fourth plenary session of the CCP's Central Committee is now at the forefront of public attention. The highest-ranking general among those dismissed, He Weidong, is 68 years old and is considered the third most important figure in the military, just behind Vice Chairman Zhang Youxia. He disappeared from public view in March 2025, and the exact reasons remain unclear. He Weidong is also the first serving vice chairman of the Central Military Commission to be investigated during his tenure. According to the South China Morning Post, he is the first political bureau member of the CCP to be investigated while still in office, underlying the rarity of such an event within the CCP. On October 18th, Chinese economic scholar and independent commentator Cai Shen-kun posted on X, revealing that in addition to the 9 generals publicly named, 4 more generals have been dismissed. These are Xu Xueqiang, Minister of Equipment; Xu Qiling, Deputy Chief of Staff of the Joint Staff Department; Xu Xisheng, Political Commissar of the Rocket Force; and Xiao Tianliang, Head of the National Defense University. In total, 9 lieutenant generals and 15 major generals have been removed from their posts. Cai Shenkun further revealed that, according to internal communications within the military, the 9 generals dismissed on October 17th have been accused of forming an anti-party group, rather than facing charges of corruption. Corruption was merely used as a public justification for the purge, which is seen as a comprehensive power reshuffling. A media insider close to the Beijing military system commented, "The simultaneous removal of 9 high-ranking officials is the most thorough military purge in nearly 20 years. The significance is not in the number, but in the ranks involved." In the past, anti-corruption efforts typically targeted lower-level officials, but this purge involved top figures like political bureau members and vice chairmen, indicating that Xi Jinping's internal system is collapsing. The collapse of the high-ranking military structure has led to mockery from overseas netizens. There are more generals being purged than casualties on the battlefield. Xi Jinping is personally purging the PLA from top to bottom. Someone needs to check if he's a foreign spy. With so many military leaders falling, how can this army even fight? Maybe the army should unite to take down Xi Jinping, so we don't have to live in constant fear. A netizen on X commented, "The CCP might be trying to create momentum for a Taiwan Strait war to divert attention from economic collapse, but no matter what, we shouldn't fall for it." This incident exposes the deep crisis within the military, where loyalty and corruption coexist. Over the past decade of military reform, Xi's faction has firmly taken root, but the corruption chain, especially within the rocket force, continues to undermine combat effectiveness. The Wall Street Journal notes that over the past 2 years, more than 30 high-ranking military officers and defense industry officials have been investigated or removed from their positions. The latest wave of purges raises questions about whether Xi can truly eradicate corruption within the military and ensure its loyalty and combat readiness. Interestingly, on October 12, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump mentioned on social media that Xi Jinping was going through a bad moment, though he did not specify what it entailed. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was more direct, linking the infighting among the CCP leadership to the impact on U.S.-China negotiations, essentially showcasing the internal divisions and power struggles of the CCP. Trump's comment about Xi having a bad moment may imply that Xi is losing the internal struggle within the CCP. On October 7th, Fox News invited Dr. Zhang Jiajun from Cornell University's Law Department to discuss the CCP's political situation. Zhang revealed that, according to a U.S. ambassador to China, Trump had initially planned to meet Xi Jinping at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea at the end of October. However, the meeting was abruptly canceled and may not take place until 2026. Su Ziyun, director of the National Defense Strategic and Resources Research Institute, noted that the dismissal of 9 generals and the upcoming 4th plenary session symbolize the challenges Xi Jinping's regime may face, particularly from factional opposition within the party and military. So the question remains, who authorized the arrests of He Weidong and other generals? Who is leading this purge? Many military observers suggest that this unprecedented purge is being guided by CCP elders, such as Zhang Youxia, who are seeking to protect the party, and in cooperation with Xi Jinping's voluntary resignation, reduce social and political instability. By 2025, Zhang Youxia's influence within the military has reached unprecedented levels. He is seen as the real mastermind behind the military personnel reshuffling, surpassing the official title of vice chairman and becoming the central figure in the military's ousting of Xi Jinping's movement. He is pushing for significant changes in the CCP's power structure. The results of the 4th plenary session will further validate his position. The large-scale military equipment deployments seen across the country suggests that these actions are not merely for stability maintenance, but resemble a military takeover, aimed at preventing internal shifts within the military. Similarly, in Chongqing, a political hotspot, military demonstrations are aimed at controlling key areas to ensure that local forces remain loyal to the central power. The announcement of the dismissal of 9 generals could be just the beginning of an even larger political storm leading up to the 4th plenary session. Some netizens speculate that the CCP's military personnel changes are heavily guarded and shrouded in secrecy, pointing to intense internal struggles and an unprecedented crisis within the regime. If the anti-Xi faction is dissatisfied with the outcome, they may seize full control of the government, both centrally and locally. The military movements in various regions serve as a warning of such possibilities. Shen Mingshi, a researcher at Taiwan's National Defense Security Research Institute, said that the dismissal of Xi Jinping's generals before the fourth plenary session has severely damaged his prestige. This move could be used by the anti-Xi or elder factions to question Xi's leadership and demand his resignation from the Central Military Commission. Shen said, "This is crucial because it's unlikely that Xi himself would have dismissed these people." Shen also suggested that the anti-Xi factions may put pressure on Xi to resign at the fourth plenary session, which is likely to be a key event to watch.